Okay, well, happy Saturday morning to you all. Welcome back to the Mind of Madness. It is Saturday, February the 13th, and here in Houston we are a brisk 33 degrees this morning. Very moist, so the effective wind chill is down in the low 20s, something like that. And I'm getting ready to get on the highway, which means it's going to get much worse. I'm headed up to Thornoli's this morning to have James redo the alignment on this guy.
Picked a hell of a day for a visit.
As Murphy's Law would have it, the weather is crap, but James's schedule is always so full. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity no matter what.
God damn it, I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it'd do any good.
I wish I could have found my winter gloves this morning. I couldn't find them. It's put away somewhere. I don't know where I left them. My fault. And I look like some sick excuse between the cross hybrid between the Michelin Man and Black Panther. I've got like 4 layers of everything on right now. Let's get this crazy adventure on the way. I want to be a little late. I'm supposed to be there at 9. It's already 8:15 or so. And there's a huge wreck out on I-10 that's backing up traffic for quite a ways. So I can't take the most direct route to get up to Spring. I have to go up 290 and around, which is going to be kind of a little bit of a mess, but I'll sort it out.
Just go, man!
Last time I rode this, it was warm, and I took my Madstad screen off of here and totally forgot about it, and that's at home right now. So this is going to be a very nippy ride. Ooh, yeah, it's cold. My helmet's already fogged up. Need to open my vents, but it's so freaking cold. Okay, can you guys see how bad I'm getting jacked around side to side? This thing is just all over the road. I hope we can figure out what this is. It refuses to track straight. It just pulls to the right, pulls to the left, mostly to the right, but it's always doing something other than going straight. James dialed most of that out last time, but then when I had the factory realignment done at the dealer up in Tyler, it seemed better at first while the tires were fresh, but as soon as they scrubbed in, worse than ever. Now it feels like trying to balance a tennis ball on the tip of your thumb. It's always wanting to fall one way or another. So I'm going to try to do a live stream this morning. Don't know how well that's going to work out. As is typical, I couldn't find a lot of my gear that I needed. Went digging through my video boxes early this morning, and I just couldn't quite find a couple of the pieces that I needed to set up the camera gear for something I was going to try. But anyway, I'm just going to be doing the live stream from my phone, and hopefully that'll work out. We'll see. I will be recording on the GoPro, but I couldn't find a couple of the rigs that I needed to hold the GoPro and do streaming from that through the phone, do all that. So I'm just going to shortcut it, do the easy way, do it from my phone. Ooh, cold tires. Cold brighter. Ooh. So I set the live stream to kick off at 9:15, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that time. So you'll all be watching this after the fact, but I do apologize if I'm late. Getting everything organized and warmed up here. Strapping a bajillion layers on my body took longer than I expected. I normally don't ride when it's this cold because we do have a chance of freezing precipitation today. Our road surfaces are well above freezing, I think, but air temp is just right at that freezing point, so it's a little bit of a risk for motorcycling. The Ryker is probably a little bit better suited for this kind of craziness because you got 3 wheels, a little more stable, and it's got all the stability control and rider aids and everything on it. But it's miserable cold out here. Wow. It's supposed to get much worse. Tonight into tomorrow is going to get down below freezing, and then for the next couple days, it's going to be right at freezing, I guess. But apparently Monday night, we're looking at high teens. I saw some of the forecasts saying 18. That's crazy. For Houston, that is something, especially middle of February. This is quite the Arctic blast. The wind is pretty stiff out of the north today, about 10 to 15, and I'm going to be going kind of right into it, which makes this suck even more. My fingers are already frozen. They're burning. I was looking for my held air and dry, but they've gone walkabout. So I'm just using my mesh gloves with the thermal liners in them, and normally that's okay, but when you get down around freezing like this, not quite enough. This is one of those adventures where you're trying to decide, okay, is it better to go fast and just get it over with, have less exposure time, or go slower to where the wind chill doesn't hurt so bad? Roll the dice. Holy shit, it's cold. Woo! Yeah, I won't be able to use my fingers when I get there, I'm sure. They're hurting a lot right now already. And I've got the hand guards and the deflectors on here, but it's not making that much difference. Man, this thing's all over the road. It seems to have gotten much worse after the tires scrubbed in. I don't know, maybe I've hit a few big bumps that have tweaked the alignment even further, but since it left, you know, Broadway Power Sports, but good Lord, this thing is just a nightmare to ride on the highway now. Every bump, it's left, it's right, it's left, it's right. And if it were just a quick transition and return to center, it would be okay, but it wants to keep tracking that way after it starts. So you have to correct it, and then suddenly you're darting back the other direction. Oh Lord, my hands are cold. That's no good. I have no feeling in my left hand already. Stay in this lane, damn you. I thought about trailering the Ryker up there this morning. Now I'm reevaluating my insanity. Maybe I should have done that. Oh no, we're not playing with trucks. Yeah, I think the plan here is I'm just gonna hunker down and haul ass.
We're there.
Okay, everybody. Well, sorry for the failed live stream there. We just don't have enough signal out here in the shop. So James has got this thing up on the lift. He's taken a look at the current alignment, and he said it's way out. It's towed out badly, which is kind of what I had been saying. I'm not sure how Broadway Motorsports thought that that was a line, but it's definitely not. And the front tires are already nearing the wear bars on the left wheel. I'm going to not bump anything that he's in the middle of here, but these things are really scrubbing in, especially on this inner edge here. There's one of the wear bars. I don't know if that's showing up on camera. Yeah. I'm going to have to replace my front tires again very soon, and they're only, no, not even 2,000 miles in, 1,500 miles or so. So, yeah, hopefully this little trip on the operating table here is going to help my Ryker's problems. It's pretty bad right now. Just the ride here. I don't know how much of that recorded because the GoPro got so cold that it shut down. The battery just got sapped in no time.
That's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. I mean, in here it feels pretty good. We're probably 50 degrees in here. But yeah, outside it's cold. 33 degrees without the wind chill. My battery lasted all of about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes on the GoPro. And it said, I quit. So, he's got the lasers hooked up on this thing and took a look at it and what was it, 2.5 inches, you said?
Yeah, towed out.
2.5 inches towed out. Jiminy Christmas. And when I first left Broadway Power Sports, it felt a little better, but I noticed immediately that it had a real tendency to oversteer and want to keep going that direction instead of going back to center. But I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just because the tires are slick and greasy and they're fresh, whatever. But yeah, once they scrubbed in, boy, it was a handful, and it's been a handful for the last, 2,000 miles or whatever. I went ahead and did 2 more trips on it as it was, but for the last several weeks, I've just left it parked. I think I didn't even ride the bike for almost 2 months. It's not tolerable, not safe. So James is a busy guy. He's always got a full dance card, and he got me the first available spot, and that was today. And hell or high water, I was going to get here.
Sir, we are at launch. Turn your key.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Turn your key, sir.
All right, so we got it jacked up in the air now, and James is digging around the front suspension, going to check all the bushings and joints and everything to see if anything else is slack or loose that might be causing this bizarre handling issue. But yeah, so based on the early numbers, when he first dug into it, the front end was towed out 2.5 inches. And the spec that everyone is coming up with now on these says that they should be about 1/2 inch towed in. So that means my bike was 3 inches out of spec. No wonder it was all over the road. Crazy. And those tires are just beat to hell already. Not even 2,000 miles on them, and they're just scrubbed. Something fierce. Let me see if I can get a close-up of that. Right here. Look at that, almost down to the wear bars on the inner edge. Crazy. So he's yanking and prying on it to see if there's any
Lower ball joint.
slack. Lower ball joint's bad?
No, it's fine. I was just
I was gonna say.
on the lower ball joint to see if it was loose.
Yeah. Well, I jacked up the front of the bike a while back, and I was
So far, I haven't found anything.
I was pulling and yanking to see if anything popped or clicked or did anything unusual, but I didn't find anything. I was thinking maybe tie rod ends were loose or whatever, and you can yank on those and they roll, but they're supposed to roll,
Yeah.
and there's no
No, there's-
click or pop or slack. So whenever I load the front suspension under braking, right near where the bike stops, there's a clunk in this left suspension. And I don't know if it's the end link on the sway bar or what, but it always pops and you can feel it. It's frame. It's not brake caliper because it doesn't do it when you just get on and off the brake. It's only when the suspension loads and then unloads right as you almost
You
stop.
got the BRP sway bar.
It's the BRP sway bar with the factory end links. I need to replace the end links because these things are very soft and stretchy. Yeah, I didn't dig far enough in there to see if it might be the frame bushing on the bar that's wonky or whatever, causing it to kind of click or pop. But
Put a wrench on there and check your torque. I don't like the way those bushings look.
yeah.
It made me find that I see a gap.
Yeah, well, if there's a gap, that might do it.
Get a wrench on.
We were discussing the rusty hub, wheel hub issue earlier. Apparently, BRP has got caps that you can order now for the inside and the outside. I've seen pictures of them, but I just haven't researched the part number. But yeah, that rusty hubs, that's just tacky, man. Tacky. Could have anodized those parts and it wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, yeah, they're loose.
Loose, eh?
Yeah. They're that loose.
Oh my God, well, that would be the poppy clicky then, wouldn't it?
Was that the bushing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bolts that hold the sway bar bushing.
Yeah.
They look loose because I could see a gap in the bushing.
Right. And it's probably been that way since, well, let's put that bar on it. So that might help with a little bit of front end chatter and at least noise. Yeah, so I haven't had the bike totally up in the air to see this tray either. I was the first oil change that Wild West had done on a Ryker. And when they did my oil change, they apparently right here in this windage tray, when they drained the oil, it filled up with oil. I mean, filled up with oil. And I was going down the road. I didn't even make it 5 miles away from there, and I was smelling stinky, burning oil everywhere. I'm like, oh crap, they left something loose, it's leaking. And I rode it like that for a day, took it back, and they had to put it back up on a lift and pull this tray down and mop it out and hose it down with brake cleaner and everything, because he said that there was at least a half a quart of oil just sitting in that tray, just blowing back all over the bike. Yeah, thanks. Everybody was still learning at that time, I guess. It's about time for the CVT belt to get replaced on this thing too. 12,000 is when they're supposed to be replaced. I've got right at 11.
They're really not that hard to change.
Well, I think I'm going to do it myself because, you know,
Yeah.
not to be snarky.
YouTube videos out there.
Yeah.
And really, follow along. If you
Right.
can do a fan belt on a car, you can do one of those.
Right.
It's just big, stiff belt, but
Right,
getting
well,
to it's not that difficult.
with this thing, you've got to pop the body panels on the sides and all that so you can hinge up the clamshell. But you know, not to be snarky, but I do a better job than most service departments on all my bikes.
Well, you take your time where they do it as quick as
Do
possible.
it
to
right.
get you
Just
out
do
of
the
there.
job right, man. Much better to come to guys like James that know what they're doing and take the time. I'm annoyed that I'm gonna have to replace these tires so soon. I figured I'd get another 8,000 miles out of these.
Are those the Kendas?
Yeah, well, that's all we can get on these are Kendas for the front. But these are the street tread instead of the all-season tread that the Rally normally comes with. I thought, okay, well, you know, these are going to be better, last longer.
Well, not if you're
Not with 2.5 inches of toe out there,
You're
not.
not gonna say, you know,
You're just scrubbing them out. My next thing is I've got to get this these Elka shocks dialed in. They're a little too stiff. Need to back the spring preload out of them later. All right, let's see if I can hook it with my foot. Nothing unzipped. Not gonna lose it on the highway. Alrighty. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll take it up on the road and get it up to highway speed. Okay, so I'm having deja vu from about a year ago, year and a half ago. Well, it's already not darting around. Oh yeah, see, now it's trying to return to center. Well, that's already a 1,000% improvement. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Okay, so what he was telling me when we first put it up on the lift and he measured it was 2.5 inches towed out. 2.5! The recommended setting on this thing is supposed to be a 1/2 inch towed in. So that means this thing was 3 inches out of spec on the front. Crazy. Oh yeah, it's tracking straight. It's wandering a little bit, but I think that's going to be expected no matter what on these. Haven't gone far enough to really know if it's equivalent to the others that I've ridden, but we're going to give it a few miles to figure out here. I'm going to run it over here to the highway, get it up on the highway, go a mile or two down the road, circle back. What we're hoping is not only is the toe out, toe in issue sorted, but the darting under camber, off camber surfaces. Whew. And I'll tell you, I am definitely going to put on my balaclava because I need some kind of a neck sock. My neck is already barking at me. And it's pulling to the right under braking, so I don't know if that's still a caliper or brake issue, brake bias, something's goofy. But the fact that it's tracking straight on level road is a huge improvement again already. Well, it didn't jump side to side right there, so that's an improvement. Yeah, it's doing better. I'm actually looking for kind of uneven areas on the pavement and preparing to fight it, you know, as it darts. But it's not darting like it did. So definitely the tow out issue was what I was experiencing, what I'd been voicing for several months. Yeah, it's actually back to rideable again instead of flagellating all over the road. I was joking about, you know, just hacking at this thing with some wrenches and using a yardstick on it or whatever, trying to get the alignment in. And I was saying, you know, the Ryker's so sensitive to alignment, it probably wouldn't be good to go hacking at it without the proper tools and the laser and all that. And James said, you could have gotten it closer with string than this. It's still darting around a little, but nothing like it was. So I'm going to call this good enough for today. If I need to make another appointment to bring it up to him, I will get another, you know, minor little tune-up like I did last time. But it's definitely better than it was. Yeah, so kind of a summary of what I'm feeling so far is it still has that kind of nervous, twitchy side to side that it's always had, more so than other Rykers, but now it's not darting hard one side or another. It's trying to track straight at least, so that's good. And the fact that these tires are so unevenly worn now due to the bad alignment is also going to skew the feel of what should be normal, you know. They're very, very worn on the inside edges, almost down to the wear bars already after only a couple thousand miles. So that's going to affect the feel and the tracking somewhat. So I'll have these front tires replaced again. Definitely not going all the way up to Broadway Power Sports for that. Have to do that somewhere here local. Another set of the street tread, not the all seasons, because I really didn't like those things. Yeah, the turn in is better, and it's not trying to continue the turn now. Tow out was pretty extreme. And you know, for anybody that hasn't watched any of my videos and you're just getting into the saga here on my Ryker now, I'm a very experienced motorcyclist. I've been racing since I was 10 years old. Cars, carts. Carts is really where I cut my teeth. And I know a thing or two about handling, how to tune, and kind of what the symptoms of misalignment and caster camber, different settings are. So I mention alignment specs and something doesn't feel quite right, I do have experience in that. What I don't have experience in, or didn't have experience when I first got the Ryker, was how three-wheel vehicles track differently, because you have three tracks, unlike a motorcycle which has one track, two wheels but one track. A car has two tracks, but it's a stop sign, jack off. The Ryker actually has three independent tracks, so you have propensity for the rear to steer the front. Much better than it was. Oh yeah, it's tracking straight now. It's not diving off to the sides of the road like it was. So that is.
I was telling my wife, I said, I sure hope it's somewhat better because I threw everything I know at it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to try.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a huge improvement just getting that 2.5 inches toe out of the way. I mean, even if it had 0 toe, which would make it a little bit flighty, would have been better than 2.5 inches toe out.
Good.
Cool, man.
We're able to do something good for it.
Yep. I mean, if I need to bring it in for another tune-up later, I'll make an appointment with you and we'll do that. But this is going to definitely get me a whole lot further down the road. Yes. I can't hear the clunking because I got, so much noise going on. But I'll let you know if it was that frame bushing on there. But yeah, it's definitely tracking better. Okay, well, I'm headed back out of Thornoli's. We finished up our business there, and well, I say we finished our business. I didn't finish my business with him because he wouldn't take my money. I told him, dude, I'm paying you. This is not a realignment or a tune-up. This is fixing somebody else's screw-up, and he wouldn't take my money. So my business with him is not concluded. I am going to pay him somehow. I'm gonna send him a fruit basket or one of those edible arrangements or something at the very least. So anyway, yeah, we got my printout with the updated alignment specs and everything on it, and we'll go from there. I'm going to stop by a client site here for a minute and then head home. Woohoo! The temperature has risen out here. It's 34 degrees now, not 33. A whole degree. Woohoo! I'm not going to take the highway on the way home. I'm too cold. I'm going to stay on the surface streets, even though it's going to take longer. Hopefully that will mean less freezing on my fingers. Because, man, I'll tell you, my fingers were some kind of frozen cold when I got here. Hold. And I am wearing my balaclava now. Trying to even cover my nose up because it's chilly. So I am going to meander my way down via the surface streets and try to save a little bit of my core temperature. Actually, on the way up, my legs were warm. They still are quite warm. My core is pretty good. I mean, I can feel the breeze a little bit through this mesh jacket, and then I've got a freeze out layer on. So it's coming through that freeze out layer just a tiny bit, but it's not bad. But it's my hands and my toes that are frozen solid. So, shut the camera down here. I'm just going to turn it off and on a few times through my hour journey back to the warehouse to drop this thing off. I definitely won't be riding it for the next few days because we're going to be down at or below freezing, and we're supposed to have freezing precipitation and whatnot. So, I'll get the car. Or I don't know. Maybe before I get too far south, I might decide to just go ahead and take this home and skip the car. I don't know. I'll sort it out. All I know is it's cold. I'm not thinking straight. And I haven't had food yet. I'm hungry. It's definitely tracking straighter. It's not pulling hard left, hard right, darting around because of that toe out. It's not tracking perfectly straight, maintaining its own line like some of the other Rykers that I've ridden, but it is 1,000% better than where it was. Here's a test. Yep, see the bump right there didn't tear it one side or the other. Yeah, I might actually be able to enjoy riding this thing again. Screw it. I am going to go home. Closer on this side of town than I am going all the way back the other direction, so. Okay, resuming my freeze drying process. Hey, Oh, it's about 45 minutes later, and I've lost all feeling in both of my hands. I'm reaching down here, grabbing the side of the CVT housing at the stoplights to try to warm my hands up. There's nowhere else like warm that I could reach except for that exhaust manifold, and I'm sure that's a bad idea because that would melt the glove. Don't need that much heat, just need a little bit. Whew, I'll tell you this, 34 degrees and wind chill on top of it. Yeah, ain't fun.
Got a little dippy going through the fast that air.